If you're not paying attention to Muhidin Abubakar right now, you're already behind. Because this is a fighter that should be signed to the UFC today. Not one day, but today. My name is Mr. Best. Welcome to the MMA Manor. Muhidin isn't just another UK prospect. He's one of the most dangerous rising fighters in the UK today. But somehow, he's still flying under the radar. This isn't some padded record. This is a resume. Fighting out of ESKF Academy, Muhidin holds a professional record of 12 wins and just the one defeat. But the real story isn't about the number. It's about who he's actually beaten. So, let's look at his level of competition. His last fight was for the Fight Star Championship flyweight title, where he took on Naldin Payash. Payash came into the fight on a 3-fight win streak, which means he was confident, he was game, and he was on form. Then after that, you have Iago, who hadn't lost in 7 years. 7 years of consistency before stepping in with Muhidin Abubakar. And prior to that, you had Victor Nunes, who also entered on a 3-fight winning streak, another fighter arriving with momentum behind him. These are rebuilding fights. These are fighters coming in with real experience, real confidence, and in some cases, long unbeaten runs. And Abubakar isn't just scraping past them, he's finishing. Nearly 70% of his wins has come by stoppage, either KO or submission. That's not just winning. That's removing people from fights who came in there to win. With Muhidin, what do you get? You get explosive striking, real finishing instinct, and above all, calm under pressure. He's not just beating opponents, he's creating separation every time he steps into the cage. And that matters, because in MMA, timing is everything. Right now, Muhidin is active, finishing fights and building real momentum. This is exactly the stage where the UFC start paying attention to prospects. But there's another layer to this that makes the story a little bit more interesting. One of Muhidin's 2 defeats as an amateur came against Lonnie Kavanagh, who is now a UFC fighter. So this isn't just speculation. He's already shared the cage with a UFC level fighter. A fighter not too long ago that beat the former champion Brandon Moreno. This creates something that the UFC actually values: history. And if Muhidin carries on this trajectory, no doubt a rematch in the UFC is possible. And this is a storyline that the UFC can run with. And let's be honest, the UFC is investing heavily in the UK scene right now. With fighters like Leon Edwards leading the way, the demand for UK contenders is only growing. Muhidin fits the bill of exactly what the UFC are looking. He's active, he's marketable, and most of all, he finishes fights. So, why isn't he signed yet? It could be because he hasn't come through the Cage Warriors pipeline, or maybe name recognition, or maybe exposure. But those gaps are slowly closing, because at some point, results override everything. At this stage, it's not about whether Muhidin is UFC ready. It's about timing. Because if he keeps beating experienced fighters the way he's doing and finishing them, the UFC will eventually have to take notice. Personally, I think he's already there. But do you agree? Do you think he needs maybe 1 or 2 more fights? Let me know in the comments. And if you follow UK MMA closely, please subscribe. There's a lot more coming.